Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Magic for Life podcast. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm a ballroom dance professional, a life coach, and a peak performance expert. I'm part of a group of motivated people who are dedicated to attaining emotional mastery and unlocking our full potential. We don't believe others are responsible for how we feel. In fact, we don't believe anyone can make us feel anything. We believe in the magic of ballroom dance. It has taught us how to improve our bodies, challenge our minds, and inspire our souls. And in return, I want to share those lessons with the world. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life. What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life podcast. I'm so glad you joined me today. It was a fabulous weekend. I'm not sure when you'll be hearing this podcast because I know it takes a few days to get it turned over. But it was a great weekend. Lots of really cool things going on. And as I progressed through the weekend, I remembered something that I had to tell you about this morning. One of my clients got in touch with me and they said, I really need some help just struggling with something that's super important. And I was like, okay, great. So we made some time and when I talked to them, they were saying, I keep trying so hard to get done what you've been telling me. And I keep trying, and it seems like no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to make any progress. Well, there were a lot of elements to this conversation, but that element stood out to me, and I wanted to talk about it with you today. This is huge, because I feel like so many of us have experienced that. So many of us have felt that challenge of trying, and to some extent trying our best and putting ourselves out there. As many of you know, I've studied Neurolinguistics, which is a lot about the words we use and the language we use, especially when we talk to ourselves, and how it influences our world and how things in our world are affected by the way that we think, the communication that we have with ourself. And sometimes we can have the best intentions, the absolute best intentions, but the wording and the way that we're using our language, even just to ourselves, forget about to everybody else. I mean, that's a big deal too. But the wording that we use is a big deal. Now, I know to some of you this may seem like semantics, but it really isn't. The words that we use make a difference. How we talk to ourselves makes a difference. You see, it's the nature of the word try, right? Because they were saying, I keep trying everything, right? And to one extent, there's an element of trying that is positive, right? We want to keep trying, we want to keep trying, we want to keep trying. But on another level, we know that trying is not good. And I know it's cliche, but if you go back to Star Wars, right, you got Yoda saying, do or do not, there is no try. And I understand that that's a little cliche because, it's been said, and it was in a Star Wars movie. For goodness sakes, how good of an advice could that be? But it is good advice. And so we have to take that to the next level. We have to practice what we have been taught. It's not that we're going to try, it's that we're going to do our best. And with each time that we do our best, we're going to put one more brick down on that wall that we're building. We're going to put one more brick and say, I'm going to lay that brick as best I can ever lay that brick, right? That's what we learned about in one of our previous episodes, Will Smith talked about. And what a great analogy, right? And the thing is that I deal with a lot of athletes that have to practice a lot every day to improve their skills. Now, if you're a business person and you're working on your business per se, or maybe you're working on some big project, you have to go in and execute the way that you want it to be done, and you have to do the best that you can do. But don't try to get it done, And so there's an element of trying that really is a challenging word for us. So what I came back with and told them, and of course this is based on on practice and based on being able to practice every day, because any great athlete is practicing every day. And so, it really is the nature of the word try. We have to not try. We have to practice the way we want to execute. This is huge. All champions will tell you this. You have to practice the way that you want to execute so that you will not be afraid to do what you do when the time comes. For my dancers, it's all about being able to step on the floor, and in that moment, in that one moment that you have the chance, that you can do what you know how to do. And as silly as it sounds, we sometimes are afraid to do what we do. And it's a definite thing, right? So we have to be able to practice the way we want to execute. So while you're in practice, you've got to push so hard. You've got to execute to the level in which you want to execute on the floor so that you won't be afraid to do that when you get on the floor. And that's a big deal. It's so important to enjoy every minute. And in order to enjoy every minute, sometimes pushing super hard in practice doesn't seem like it's going to be enjoyable, but almost every time you do, every time you push so hard in practice that you are feeling great about it, that you know you gave it your all, that you put every focus that you have, every bit of focus that you had, right into executing that beautifully, you can actually come out and make some massive improvement in a very short period of time. You see, each minute, we have to learn to enjoy every moment of the dance, so to speak, right? And I mean that metaphorically, not just for my dancers, right? If you're a basketball player, you have to learn to appreciate and enjoy every minute, even if it's the ladders running up and down the court, even if it's the defensive drills that make your legs burn. You have to enjoy every moment of the dance. And sometimes I call it the dance of life, because that's really what's going on, right? There's this dance, a step forward, a step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes it's 3 steps back and 1 step forward, and we have to try to avoid those moments. But this dance of life is what we do every day. And you have to learn to enjoy every moment, every minute, not just the wins. And that's where we get caught up. Is sometimes it's like, okay, I'm only going to enjoy it if I win. But you see the difference between the champions and not, is the champions have found a way to love it no matter what. The times that they don't win, oftentimes they're saying, yeah, but you know what? That other person was better. And those are some of the best interviews. Like I said recently, if you've been following the podcast, I love watching athletics, any kind, basketball, football. I'm pretty much open to any sports that have high-level athletes, because I love watching them being able to perform at their peak. And I love seeing them be able to come out and do something in that zone, in that space where you can just tell they're in their element, in their perfect space. And that's so amazing to watch. Each minute, though, we have to learn to enjoy every moment of our journey, and not just the wins. Not focus on the past, the mistakes, because that will hinder you. You have to learn from them, but not focus on them. Not just the goals and the future, right? That's what's ahead of us. We can't put all of our focus there, because we'll be missing what we're doing it for, which is the journey. Every minute, every beat. If you're a dancer, every arm, every leg action, every turn, every step. If you're a basketball player, every shot, every defensive stop, every piece along the way. You have to learn to enjoy every step. See, as a business person, sometimes we have to do things in our business, especially if you're an entrepreneur, that we don't love to do. We got in it for a reason. We got in it to do the thing that we love, and then sometimes we end up doing all the other jobs as we're building a business. You got in to do one thing that you love, and maybe you end up doing the accounting. You're going, well, I don't love the accounting. But you know what? You have to find a way to enjoy every minute of that, because every minute of that is going to help you build your business. This is important, right? Life is going to require you to master this, or you're going to live a life of mediocrity. And this is huge. This is huge. This is sort of the fear, right? The fear is that we might just live a life of mediocrity. And yet each of us knows, and I hope you know, that there's something great inside of you right now. There's something so amazing inside of you, and it is dying to get out. And you have to find it. You have to acknowledge it, and you have to go chase after it, because it is time. If you haven't done it yet, it's time to step up. It's time to get brave and have some courage that you can do it. I believe you can do it, and sometimes it's hard just to take that step to get past that point. Maybe you've tried before, and maybe you missed your opportunity before, but you know what? It's never too late to go after that thing that you love. I'd like to make a quick recommendation, and that's to go and read one of my favorite books, and one of the top books ever read. If you look on any top 10 book lists, it's always there. And that is a book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I hope I didn't say his name too poorly. But here's the thing. He talks about this and talks about your journey and gives you some inspiration, but it's not a self-help book in your traditional sense. It is more of a journey. It's a story, and it's an easy story to read, but it's absolutely profound. So I highly recommend it. Go get a copy of it today. Every bookstore has it, because it is a phenomenal book. Anyway, make sure that you take some steps today to find the thing that you love and really go after it. And you know, some of you may say, hey, you know what, I don't know what I love. Well, you know what, start with something. Start with something. There is something that you can share with the world, with the people around you. Gosh, if you only change one person's life today or this month, it would be better than nothing. So I highly encourage you, go grab The Alchemist, and if you have a moment, give us some feedback on iTunes. Let us know that you love the podcast, and we'd love to hear from you. If you have a moment, let somebody else know that you think might enjoy the podcast, and share it with them. And we love hearing the feedback, and if you have something for us to chat about that you'd love to hear about, please let us know. Send us an email or something, and we will talk to you at the next podcast. Take care.
Are you loving Magic for Life? Please like and share our podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want more magic for your life? Join me for some great Facebook Lives on the official Facebook page at Michael A. Johnson Official.